Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Folks, I want to stay on topic tonight. Two topics. Diddy. Back in 1999, there was a shooting, which many of you should know with regards to the Club New York. J-Lo was there, Shine, ripping shots out of a Glock. Cow, 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 cow. And Shine was convicted for that shooting. He did a decade. There's a woman by the name of Natanya Rubin. I say again, Natanya Rubin. She's been on TikTok as of late and trending over the last 24 hours with regards to her claims that Diddy actually shot her. Now, I want to go back. Because I never heard the story about her saying Diddy shot her. Diddy and I are not friends. We're associates, but I am going to be objective tonight with regards to this topic as much as I can. And also, I want to say for those of you who know the details of Natanya Rubin's journey, because she was, again, shot in the face. There's still some bullet fragments in her face. She received a settlement back in 2011, $1.8 million. This is important to know because also with regards to that settlement, she requested that things be sealed. She didn't want publicity. This was part of the agreement. Now, Diddy paid some of that money. I would imagine that the insurance company paid the majority of that money from the Club New York. Again, this happened in 1999. But now she's talking. Now she's talking about Diddy shot her. She's got a documentary. She's got a book. Now, I don't know if she took the stand. Well, she took the stand, pardon me, during the trial. But did she say Diddy shot her on the stand? I don't recall that. I'm in the media. I started doing terrestrial radio in March of 2000. Shine came on my show for his first album release. Diddy's been on my show on multiple occasions. I never heard her or the story about her saying Diddy shot me when she took the stand. She did say Shine and Diddy had guns, okay? But this is new to me. Maybe I missed it. I don't know, all right? But that's my main topic tonight. She's going viral. Is she trying to get a bag? I hate to say it like that, but the fact that she did a settlement back in 2011, again, makes me say, well, why are you talking now? And truthfully, that was nigger pennies in comparison to what, Cassie and other people are suing Diddy for. Did Natanya Rubin, did she run through the money? Out of that $1.8 million settlement, she probably got $800,000. I would imagine the lawyers took 25%. Pardon me, 40%. She had to pay other legal expenses. I'm sure she went back to the hood and started breaking niggas off, wood grain gripping, flying down to Cancun and the Bahamas. Yeah, girl, popping bottles. Did she run through the money? Okay, and now she's up on social media talking about Diddy shot me in the face. I don't know. I'm not trying to clown her, but I don't know that story about her saying Diddy shot me. All right. Also, guys, my showrunner. Do children learn the same way? At first, I was going to do a topic with regards to the United States literacy rate and other things. But then I started, thinking, because I'm a thinking nigga. And I said, I have to be truthful with myself, not just my audience, but with myself. I have a theory, and I've had this theory for quite some time. Some of you may not like this theory. They always kick the backs in, or they always say that blacks and Hispanics, their IQs aren't there in comparison to whites and Asians. My theory is that blacks are actually smarter. The children, they're actually smarter, but it's the way that you teach them by way of today's and yesterday's racist system. The system is racist. Anybody who says, well, racism doesn't exist anymore, that's a load of crap, or that's cap, as you guys say. It's not racism is not just redlining and the banking system in America, which is a story within itself, but the education and how you teach Black children. I want to go back into time for those who who are history buffs, so to speak. The Kingdom of Kush. The Kingdom of Kush, many of you know this already. We've had this discussion. The region of Nubia was an early cradle of civilization, which produced several complex societies that engaged in trade and industry. Now, those weren't Caucasians, the Kingdom of Kush. So if that region in the world, and this is a fact, if that region in the world produced the early civilization and things, trading that we know today, then wouldn't those people genetically have that within them, the understanding and the ability with regards to learning and other things? Now, in my community section, I posted a video there for you, and there's a way that teaching children can be more beneficial to certain cultures and or groups. Just give me a little time. I want to try and lay this out. I'm not a teacher. Well, actually, I am, but not a school teacher. The reasoning that I put in the community section, for those of you who have a better understanding, you might be teachers in school or parents. There's a certain way that you can convey a story to someone or a process of understanding that they will grasp. There are certain realities with regards to people from, let's just say, the motherland, Africa, and ways of communication that gave a certain civilization an understanding of how to actually interact and deal with each other. I don't know how deep we're going to go with this particular conversation on a Thursday night, but I at least want to try. I want to try, okay? So, do children learn the same way here in America? And that's my focus, here in America. Phone lines are open right now. And hang on a second, because I asked someone to do a little research for me. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. With regards to Natanya Rubin, did she, in the courtroom back when the trial was going on and Shine was sentenced to a decade, did Natanya Rubin say, Diddy shot me? I don't know that to be true. But she, the video that has been posted, on social media, she is really, really trying to hammer home the point, because this guy who just recently filed a lawsuit against Diddy, okay? She's saying that because of what this guy is claiming in his lawsuit, that Diddy told him, I bust my gun, and he's claiming Diddy told him that he's the one that actually shot up the club. This is what Natanya Rubin is trying to hang her hat on, so to speak. Hang on a second. I just want to make sure I'm highlighting something here with regards to my notes, okay? Now, I'm not just going to say she's clout chasing. I'm asking you guys, is she? Because, again, she took a settlement. And in that video where she's talking, which many of you have seen, she notice how she's not saying Diddy shot me. She's saying when Diddy pew me. Anybody catch that, troll babies? Why is she saying pew as opposed to shot me? Well, if you ask me, I could be wrong. The agreement that she signed, she agreed to never say Diddy shot her. Okay, so now social media is here. I guess she didn't envision social media, and she's trying to go around what she agreed to. I don't know if I really respect that. And also in that video, she's talking about she wants more money, millions and millions of dollars. It sounds like a real cloud chase. That's all I want to say, all right? Sharice, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Sharice, please call. The phone lines are open. Let's have a conversation. I can't read long emails during the show. I just can't do that right now, but I'm willing to talk. I'll let you have the last word. Hold on a second. Florida boy Jay, good to see you, sir.
Yo, man, what's going on, man? What's popping? How are we doing tonight?
It's cracking. You back in town? Where have you been?
Yeah, man. Just did a trip out to Los Angeles and went to Vegas for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Gamble, shot some craps, hit the blackjack table.
I'm sorry. Go back. Say that again.
I'm sorry. Hit the crapjack table, blackjack. Slots. Won some money. Went to the high stakes poker room. Ate good.
I thought you said eating Alaskan king crab. Pardon me. You said the crab.
Come on, man. I'm trying to make it seem like we eating Cane's chicken and drive-through. Okay.
Come on.
Meals and the steaks is something else. But I want to. I just got back in town. We're gonna be going live tomorrow, but I want to touch on some of the topics tonight for your show. Mainly about kids. Do children learn the same way? And I'm not a parent, but I'm around children quite a bit, seeing as my friends have kids. My niece, I just helped, me and her were collaborating on something that she did for her education. And I observe kids, and I understand one thing that I do know, that do children learn the same way? No. And the reason why I say no is because the parents have become lazier and stupider. And I don't think the kids are the ones that are autistic. I think the parents are. I think a child is really only as smart as their environment. I've seen 4-year-olds that have been claimed on the spectrum or nonverbal and only communicate in like these broken non-conceptual sentences until I observe that's how the parent speaks to them, And then when I start to speak to the child and asking them about, certain questions, and parents don't have conversations with their kids anymore. They don't stimulate their brains into thought. They throw a tablet in their face and they keep it moving. These kids, the pandemic babies, whatever you want to call them, it's not them. It's the parents. It's the autistic parents. It's the lazy, here stare at something. Back in my day, you only had about 2 hours max, if that, maybe an hour to watch TV after school. And I knew some kids that couldn't play their PlayStation or Xbox till the weekends.
If I can jump in for a second, I think that's very important and key what you said, the parents. Now, I try not to kick dirt on the parents because I am not a biological parent. But you know what bothers me? And I try not to make this an issue too much publicly, but behind the scenes, I'm a stickler for a woman who knows how to spell and who knows how to use capital letters, where to put a period, punctuations, and all other sorts of things. I've come too far to now dumb it down in my personal life. In my personal life, I'm not just going to accept all sorts of slang and ebonic. If I'm communicating with the female, we're talking about whatever, going someplace, dating. No, I'm not going to dumb it down and all of this ebonic, communication that social media allows now. But publicly, I have to agree with you. The parents, the children see what the parents are doing, not just on social media, but also by way of texting. So they don't feel like they have to do any better. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's to the point where, like, when I talk to, like, say I was talking to a child today, right? A 4-year-old. I'm asking what the 4-year-old's favorite color is, right? Yeah. Most people, how old are you? What's your favorite color? No. What's your favorite color? Purple. Why is that your favorite color? What does the color make you feel? Invoke thought into your child. Invoke thought-provoking questions, intellect. A lot of us like to turn a blind eye with our friends who are half-ass parents who want to light the za up while their child is sitting there watching Coco Melon. You know what I'm saying? Or watching Gracie's Corner. You want to light up the za. You're trying to pass the blunt in the same room the kids in. And instead of us being responsible adults and checking our friends, or at least if we're around our friends in an adult setting and their kids are around, can you take at least 5 minutes to stimulate the child to, crouch down and get on the child's level, talk to the child? Because I remember when I was a kid, when I was around adult settings, and maybe
but now, hang on a second. Now you're not a parent, so there's people who are going to dismiss what you're saying. He don't know what he's talking about, and that's right. Why, again, publicly, I don't make that big of an issue out of my thing with females. If I'm dating you, you got to be a good speller, Right. But there's people who will say, well, he ain't got no kids. What is he talking about?
And guess what? You know what the funny thing about it is? I was a child. I remember my childhood very vividly. So I may not be able to tell you how to parent, but I can tell you what a kid sees. I can tell you a child's perspective. I can tell you that as a child in the rooms full of adults, when that one adult kind of sits back and gives you at least 5 to 7 minutes of attention and time and speaks to you as they're speaking to other adults, you validate the child's intellect. A lot of the times, the child is dumbing themselves down to the parents, to the guardian, to the environment that they're in, because anytime they question the parents' limited intellect, they get yelled at. Anytime they are yearning for some type of mental stimulation, they get spanked or yelled at because the parent does not want to deal with mentally developing your child, your sex trophy.
Let me put something else on the table here. Not that you have to agree with me. Young people in my family, I don't want to text with you too often because they get into this place or space where they can get a little slick with the text messages, or if you're not up on some type of slang, OMG, or it's some shit that you wouldn't say when you're talking to me, because you would be forced to hear the authority in my voice and the wisdom. Do you think that plays a part? Texting and allowing your children to use certain, I don't know, language, slang by way of communicating. Does that have anything to do with the way children learn today?
Yeah. And the reason why I say yes, because as we can all say, probably after my generation stopped the start, you remember probably first, second grade, you had to learn how to write cursive.
Right.
You had to learn how to write letters to and from.
Oh my God. Nobody knows how to do that anymore.
You had to have, I remember my dad was like, son, if you don't have legible handwriting, how are you going to sign a check? How are you going to sign your name on? So how's anybody going to know? And your handwriting is a reflection of your intelligence, because that's what society used to be. Your handwriting was a telltale sign of the schooling you got, the type of home you came from. Yeah. It was a lot of intellectual clues that had you able to gauge another human. Now we're so dumbed down, the things that used to qualify somebody's intellect without getting to know them, we can't even read now. And that's how we get duped and scammed, because back in the day, if I know you got a third grade handwriting, there's no way I'm doing business with you. But because you have electronic emails and this and that, you can hide and deflect how well you're rounded and how smart you are. And the laziness with automated systems, along with the fact that we're not teaching cursive, we're not even teaching goddamn handwriting to people anymore. Yeah. They don't even have to write. Everybody has tablets now in the classrooms.
Okay. Hey, man, I want to shift gears for a second because I got some calls coming in. Diddy accused of shooting a woman back in 1999. Her name is Natanya Rubin. Have you seen her video, which is trending now on social media?
Absolutely. I've seen it. And I feel like, just like Lil Rod, she's clout chasing, because if you really cared, why didn't you stick up for Shine in the courtroom? Why did you placate to the courts, the judges, and the system to help perpetrate Diddy's reign of terror? If anything, we should be locking you up and coming after you, because if it wasn't for you, Diddy would have been put up in 99 and we wouldn't have to deal with all the stuff we're dealing with now.
That's a great point.
You were probably the only person to stop this man's reign of terror in the last 20
right there. That's a great point. Had she stuck to her guns and not taken the settlement back in 2001 is when the trial happened. Maybe she would have saved a whole bunch of other people's lives and careers.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be no Cassie. It wouldn't be niggas walking across the thing to get cheesecake. It wouldn't have been all this butt smacking he was doing to Jay-Z on stage. We wouldn't be having Meek Mill and matching halter tops putting dick presses on midgets. We wouldn't be seeing any of that. But because she had the nail to strike the hammer to take him out, and she nutted up in the paint. She had the game winning
bag
and shot an air ball. You took the bag and stayed complicit. You better shut up and deactivate. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care if you got a picture of him shooting in your face. It's up. We don't want to hear from you. You could have been the one nigga to stop it, but just like a mammy, you nut up in the paint.
Damn. Okay. Florida Boy Jay, great to see you, man. Salute.
Absolutely, man. You have a great show. Thanks.
Take care. All right. Florida Boy Jay on the check-in. Two-Tone, I got your donation. Thank you. Are you calling in? I really want to explore that showrunner. Do children learn the same way? If you just now joining me, I have a theory that black children are actually smarter. I just think that the system was not designed in their favor. In my community section, but look at that video and just see if you even care about the correlation I'm trying to make here with regards to understanding and how different cultures reason. Okay, let me bring this call in here. Someone's been on hold for a few minutes. Area code 902. Are you there? 902. Good evening.
Hello, Star.
Hey, how are you?
What up? So I have a question, because when I first caught wind of your show years ago, you had just, from what I remember, you put.
Well, sir, I don't mean to cut you short. This is not question me. We have topics on the screen. The audience wants me
this has to do.
stay on topic. Just get to the topic, please. Please, the topic.
Did Shine not once apologize on your say-so for what this woman's now accusing Diddy of doing? I thought Shine admitted it, and you got him to apologize for it. Was he shook of Diddy, or why did he apologize for that if he didn't do it?
Sean and I went back and forth on social media years ago because I was getting at him because since he came out of the penitentiary, he was falling into this gangster vibrato thing again. And I said, Jesus, man, haven't you learned anything? So yes, Shine apologized. And I'm not trying to take credit here, but I was putting the screws in him. I forget what year that was. But I'm focused.
But if he didn't do the shooting, why would he apologize?
I don't know.
Sorry to cut you off.
No. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. He was convicted of the shooting. He did 9 years. He did 9 years. But Natanya Rubin is saying no. Diddy shot her. Go ahead.
I don't know. I just found it interesting. Did Diddy have him that shook that he wanted to apologize even after having done the time? Because I thought you had, convinced him to apologize. Apparently, he didn't do it. I don't know.
No, stay with me. Stay with me. As long as we're on topic. I don't know why Shine, pardon me, did anything at any point in his journey. I didn't know him like that. He came on my show one time. That was after the shooting. I don't know why Diddy, well, I mean, I shouldn't say I don't know why. Diddy paid this woman $1.8 million. There was other people who were paid as well. Somebody got $500,000. Somebody else got $50,000. What are your thoughts? Do you think that she's cloud chasing? Do you think that Diddy actually shot her?
The video that I saw of her, which was a few minutes long, she seemed credible to me. Okay. She didn't seem like she had any reason to lie. I don't know. I mean, I've never met any of these people. I don't know. That's why why I want your insight. I don't know. She seemed credible to me. I'll just say that.
Well, I've been giving my insight, sir, since I started, but I'm opening up the floodgates because I don't want to be the only person talking. I am a narcissist, sir, but it doesn't have to be my way necessarily in terms of this particular story.
Right.
So yes.
Can I ask a quick question? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to know if you can give us a DJ Alias update. You haven't spoken of him in a while.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling, sir. We're just staying on topic. Thank you.
Okay.
DJ Alias is on social media. That's my guy. Do I have to sit here and say, oh yeah, I spoke to Alias 2 days ago? Sheesh. Area code 209. We're talking about Natanya Rubin. Are you up to speed on her video? 209.
Get okay.
Randy, there you are.
Get okay.
Randy, pick up the pace. Are you up to speed on the topic? Serious topic.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late for her to go back on her original statement. Mm-hmm. And she's not trying to chase clout. She's trying to get to the bag.
Right.
But she already got the bag. She got that is pennies. Not going to be reopened.
She got nigger
past
pennies.
Trauma.
Did you hear what I said?
That they gave her nigger pennies.
Nigger pennies, $1.8 million. She.
I mean, that's what she settled for. They're only going to give you what you think your trauma is worth. Yeah. So if that's what she settled for, that's what her trauma is worth, and that's end of story. Because as you said in the video, she's not referring or stating that Diddy did that to her. She's alluding to it. So meaning that she can't go on record due to past paperwork and state such accusations, you know?
No, Randy. In the video, she's saying Diddy actually pumed her, but she's not using the word shot. She's not saying shot. And I don't know for certain. I think she's legally bound to not use that term, shot, but she's trying to go around it. Okay.
Probably even speaking on that matter could get her sued. So she needs to, for better words, shut her mouth, because niggas with money don't play that, you know? They make tight-knit contracts. So within all these things coming out of the woodworks with Diddy, people that have been already paid off, that is going to end fast for them.
I don't think Diddy is going to sue her. I don't think it's even worth it, because he doesn't want to be back, or in any type of court setting with her. So she's gonna.
That is true.
She's gonna do what she's doing. I think she's cloud chasing. I'm gonna say it. You got your bag already. You agreed to something, and also for those who know the actual the details of the settlement. She's the one. Natanya Rubin is the one who didn't want anything to get out to the public by way of press. That was what she put in the agreement. Go ahead.
And that is her fault for not being like other cultures that you got to monetize off your trauma. She should have never agreed to such things. She should have written a book about that night. She should have tried to get a TV series.
She's got a book. I didn't even know about her book. She's got some type of documentary coming out. I'm just
trash.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that's trash. Mm-hmm. But on the kid topic, I don't want to lean on it too much. But yes, I feel that even with the educational system, it's by design that it is failing the next generation. You have teachers getting the children's attention by saying ski and stuff like that. You got city girls teaching your children nowadays, and then you don't have parents petitioning to get them bitches fired. Come on, bro. So if you don't take action, and if you don't take your child's education and progress in life serious, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the system making them McDonald's workers and, bottom of the barrel people that still get EBT, and depend on the government.
Do you think
because
that
it all falls under racism?
Do you think that social media is just too powerful of an animal now, to the point where even if parents do want to protest, the way teachers are teaching, do you think that social media just allows too many people to be proud to be ignorant?
No, that is not true, because I feel with social media, you could actually amplify the positivity and get those people out of the building. With those tools and those instruments, you could actually make a change if it's used correctly. Because if we could shed on the light on the ratchet teacher that got an OnlyFans and such, we should put more into these morale contracts. You can't be smoking the za. You can't be putting rap music for these children to stimulate them. You can't do stuff like that. I think stuff needs to be upgraded, and parents should petition for better for their children. Would it happen? No.
Are you a parent, Randy? I forget. You're not 30 yet.
No, but I've made a difference in a child's life. So if that goes anywhere,
Okay. But
I've been a parent figure.
Okay, now I'm not trying to play you or clown you, but you had to get out of New York. You're out west somewhere. Might you one day face whatever made you leave, to set an example for that young person?
And as a man, yes, that is called decision making. Yes, that's called taking accountability. Yes, nice. That is all true.
Nice. Yeah.
And that all comes with knowing decision making. And I feel more parents need to stop babying their children. Florida Boy Jay did have some validity what he was saying. Like, when you talk to children nowadays, they could be being dumbed down by their parents. Like me, I always found that in disgust and in bad taste, like talking to a child like they're less than, like in that baby voice, because then that's the speaking pattern that they pick up. Just have normal conversation with them. I noticed that goes a long way with like my cousins and all the other children that I came in contact with.
Yeah.
Like I don't make it the standard how their people interact with them. Like I try to even hold them accountable for what's right and wrong, because in today's parenting, people have this weird notion of my parents did it wrong, so I'm gonna do it right by not saying no to my child, and that is sick.
Right.
Your child needs to know no, because society will let him know when he walks through that door that he is less than if he comes from a certain background. When your teacher tells him no, he's going to feel twice as hurt because you never sold it to him.
You're making some great points,
So
Randy.
That whole power is going to continue doing it.
You're making some great points, man. Minus the profanity. Salute to you.
Yeah, like it's just disgusting because these parents will let other people imprint their children and cause trauma because they're afraid of making a negative impact or any impact in their life. Yeah. You cannot have a child thinking that it can be a child up until 15 years old in today's society. We're moving way too rapid, and stuff isn't like yesteryear. You can't shelter them from the wickedness that is today.
Great points,
That's how
Randy.
you get these. Yeah, and I don't want to continue because, like you said, I am not a parent, but we all see this when we step into society, these grown-ass niggas that are still kids.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call. Have a good night.
Stay up, man.
Okay, stay up. All right. Randy, spitting the knowledge here tonight. Skylar Saunders, are you out there, sir? Hang on a second. I haven't spoken to Skylar in a while. Where are the parents tonight? Do children learn the same way? And we're going to pull back on the trolling sometime and put a serious topic on the table in the evenings. Usually a topic like this works better for me in the afternoons, a different crowd, so to speak. But I think this is very fitting for this evening, okay? Let me bring in area code 340. Good evening. We're talking about two topics. Natanya Rubin, are you up to speed? She's put out a video saying Diddy shot her back in 1999. 3.
I'm really calling. Good evening, Star. What's up? 1051 farm checking in.
Hey, man, how are you? Good to hear from you.
Hey, what's up? I was calling to tap in on the kids learning different ways and stuff like that.
Please, do children learn the same way? It just came to my mind because there's so much talk about the black literacy rate here in America, and there's multiple stories about blacks are behind in reading and math and so on and so forth. What do you think?
Yeah, I think kids learn different ways. Back in the day, before the education system was implemented and everything, before the government, before our taxes started funding public school and stuff like that, there was a lot of like church schools, or there was a lot of homeschooling going on, and it was more tailored to the child. Learning was more tailored to the children. Everybody had to learn their letters and numbers, the basics, math, arithmetic, and things like that. But it was more tailored to the child. You could observe a child, see what they're weak in, what they're strong in, and attack it that way.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask how old are you and where are you calling from? Sound like we've spoke before.
Yeah, I'm 36. I'm from the Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands, okay. You're the guy who kicks.
Yeah.
You're the guy who kicks dirt on Jamaicans from time to time. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, now listen. I have to be so honest. Back in the early '80s, when I first moved to New York, there was multiple reasons why I hung out with the shower posse guys. They were educated. They were fucking smart, book smart. And again, what they learned back in Jamaica, a British education, we vibed on certain things, man. I was talking to one guy, man, about Noam Chomsky's book, Syntactic Structures. I said, holy shit, how'd you know about that book? So the teaching, it's different now, but again, I'm not a parent. Are you a parent?
Yes, sir. I got 4 boys. Yeah.
Are they being raised to your liking in terms of education?
Yeah, the two that live with me,
Mhm.
you know, and the ones that live in the States with their mom, they 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 try to follow my lead as much as they can. You know, we talk on the phone,
Mhm.
we vibe out on a lot of stuff, we research stuff together. But
Mhm.
you know, they go to public school, you know.
Mm.
But my kids here is more. I have them under my care, so it's like we really just
Under
we
your
rock
watch.
out however we rock out, man.
Under your
Yeah,
watch.
under my watch.
Under your watch.
Yeah, we rock out. We rock out how we rock out, man. They get to play. They get to help me work.
Mhm.
They get to help me do a lot of stuff. You know, it's good, man. It's good when you tailor a child's education to them. You know.
Mhm. With all due respect, the children that are in the States, is the mother a Yankee or is she Caribbean?
She from she Caribbean too, but she left she left with them, trying to turn them into little Yankees. You know, but they're focused, man. They're focused.
Putting poison in their minds. Oh,
Yeah,
poison.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Poison. Yeah. Yeah.
With all due respect, no disrespect, but I just say that. But well, hey man, I appreciate the call. I'm just exploring this,
Yeah, man.
theory of mine that black children, genetically black, are smarter, but the system is just not designed for them to really excel, and then they don't get the credit that some people, educators will give to autistic children. Oh, he's so
Can I
smart,
say
he's autistic. Okay, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
right, right? Can I say one thing?
Please.
As far as like the quote unquote African American community, right? I'll say this, right? um, a lot of the things that we speak of and a lot of the education we get and how we speak in our homes and the things that are important, like how money works,
Right.
what we are really on paper, maritime law, all these things, like we don't have those conversations in our home. So you become a certain age and you start to look for information and then you educate yourself. But the other races, they're learning these things from kids, and the
Yes.
parents are pushing that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the African American community, we're like, you better get an A or whatever, but they don't really teach you any. The parents aren't teaching. I think the parents dropped the ball, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I appreciate the
So,
call,
yeah,
man.
respect.
Thank you. Respect.
Yeah, man, respect. Yes, sir.
We're having a good discussion here. You see, it took us a minute, but that showrunner, do children learn the same way? Just chime in. You don't have to necessarily have research material ready. I want to hear from you guys who are parents. I'm not a parent. Oh, I don't have biological kids. I got thousands of trolls. And they keep me up to speed on things. I truly, truly appreciate them. Two-Tone, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in, sir. Sounds like the money ran out and Diddy is a plate. Well, I think she's trying to make him a plate. Let me just read something for those of you who did not see the video by Natanya Rubin, who was shot in the face back in 1999 at Club New York. Okay. In the video she posted, recent video, she says, "For every tear that I had to cry or my children had to cry, I am going to get $1 million back from you. I will not stop until you pay the price for what you did to my life." Okay, well, now, why didn't she go down that lane or that path during the trial? Why didn't she stick to her guns and say, no, never mind 1.8 million, I need 10? Who were her lawyers or lawyer at that particular point in her life? Why didn't she, when we talk about the small hats and the legal strategies that they use, whoa, I've seen some crazy things. I've seen lawsuits based upon potential gross earnings. Okay, I'll take a payout right now for $500,000, but if you make XYZ, and profit based upon my tragedy or this story, then I should be entitled to, in 10 years' time, another 2.2 million. Why didn't she approach it like that? Again, she's the one, Natanya Rubin, who asked for the documents and everything to be sealed. Let's go to area code 440. Good evening. We're talking about two topics. Are you up to speed? 440.
I am, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Can you come a little closer or do something with the headset? You sound a little far away.
Is this better? If not, I'll catch you the next one.
Thank you for calling, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, sounds a little crazy. I want to hear what you got to say. I'm not rushing nobody off the line, but let's get down to business. Area code 956. Two topics. Right, speed. 956. Please turn that down in the background. You have the floor.
956, two topics. Speed. 956. Please turn that down in the background.
9.
Hello, sir.
5,
How you doing?
6. Yes, sir.
Yes, I have. You're talking about if the children learn the same way, right? You say, or better?
That's the question. Yes, sir.
But what do you mean by that? Like children learn better than adults, or what you're saying, or just black kids?
Well, it's a question with regards to children, different cultures, ethnicities here in America. Do they learn the same way? I didn't want to just, go after the literacy rates for black kids and why are they behind, yada, yada, yada. There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason why certain groups excel. Other groups can come here from different countries. And they fit into a system, and I'll even say a system of white supremacy. There's a reason.
Right.
So my question is just, a question. Do they learn the same way? Are you a parent? Can we start there?
No, I'm not a parent. I'm 32, and I'm not a parent. And everybody I know is parents and stuff. But what I see is that any race will be successful, and any race will be a drug addict or a drug dealer. It just depends on what the person is. I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining myself. I'm sorry.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Take your time. Take your time. I'm listening.
Yeah, I've seen Mexicans. I've seen Asians, black kids be principals, and they come from poverty. So I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's just a population thing. So out of 100, there's got to be like 20 doctors, 20 teachers, 20 drug addicts, 20 fuck-ups,
All right, sir, you use profanity again, you're out of here. Okay, we're having a nice discussion.
I'm sorry?
You use profanity again, I got to drop your call. We're having a nice, respectable conversation about children, please. Language. Okay, he hung up. Thank you for hanging up. Yeah, if you can't keep it clean sometimes, it's, everything can't be balls to the wall. Yo, F this, F that. Come on. Eamon, I got your donation. Another stream being okay. So I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you, Eamon. Just get on topic, man. Get on topic. Get on topic. Jay, I got your donation. Stars. She settled for 1.8. Her and her lawyer fumbled the bag. I would say, yeah. And listen, I'm not even trying to kick her back in. But you got what you got, and the story again. If you, and I'm sure some of you will do a little research here because she's trending. Back in 2011, by way of the Daily Mail, she's the one that wanted everything sealed. Thank you, Jay, for your donation. Hey, Mandy, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Some Newt says, Star, I had to Clorox wipe my phone after Florida Boy Jay. Okay, that was cute. And hey, Tiffany, she says, salute to the Star Report and homeschoolers. Okay, let's bring in area code 443. Good evening, are you there? 443. Two topics tonight.
Star, what's good?
How are you, sir? What's cracking?
Let's talk about the school system.
Please.
It's messed up. The public school system is trash. And I'm speaking on this because I have 2 stepkids that are in public school right now.
Okay.
It's trash. They can turn in work whenever they want. They can sit in class, talk on their phone all day long. They even get to take quizzes and tests multiple times if they feel as though they get a bad grade. It's trash. When did you get to do that in real life? Get to go through a test and get to say, "Oh, yeah, I didn't feel like I
a do-over.
Let me do it. Let me get a do-over." What? No, it's trash.
I forget what year it was. A lot of the educational, institutions, they didn't want teachers using red pens to correct work. You know what I'm talking? Let me Google that, because teachers can't use red pens to correct your work because it's too offensive. Go ahead. I'm on Google whilst you're talking.
No, everything that they go is one of my kids. They have a teacher who's not trans, but she's a woman that identifies as something else. So they call her by her name, like it's like Smurf, Miss Smurf something.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, like, how does the school system even allow this? Like, what? Like the stuff that I hear them come home and say that they learned in school, or that I just overhear them talking about that. Oh, in school we was doing this, and I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
So what about the process of
like Florida Boy Jay was saying, the handwriting? Oh my God, I can't read none of this. Anything that they write, I can't read it at all. It's better that they type it or email it, because the handwriting is atrocious.
Yeah. I'm bothered by anybody who I'm like close with, or doing any type of business. If you start texting Wayment, what is it? WAYMENT. I'm like, oh God, please don't, or some nigga in his 50s, brah. I'm like, whoa, come on, I'm not doing that with you.
I hear them say that all the time, and I tell them, don't ever address me like that. Don't ever address me like brah or bro. I am not your brah. I'm not your bro.
Yeah, I don't have no female. Brah. What? Get out of here. You're dismissed. Go ahead.
Yes, that's all I wanted to call about. But yes, I agree with Florida Boy Jay. This public school system is trash.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Already.
Okay. All right.
You are the
guys on the screen. YouTube.com/@Sky Saunders. That is Mr. Skylar Saunders YouTube channel. Please check him out. Great content. He goes live daily. Skylar, do you want to tap in? You want to talk about children learning? The process. Anybody chime in that community section with regards to the reasoning and that type of reasoning for young people? Anybody go through that with their own children? Hang on a second. I was Googling something here. Okay, red ink grading has been discouraged in some schools nationwide due to its negative psychological impact on students. The color red can evoke feelings of anxiety and stress, potentially hindering learning. Oh my God, she corrected my paper with a red pen. I need medication now. That is a story on wisegeek.com. Wisegeek.com. A recent story, February the 24th, 2024. But that started years ago with that whole stop using red. What year did that start? Maybe like in the 90s? Any teachers want to chime in? When I first heard about that, I said, whoa, it's a good thing I don't have any biological kids. I would have been bothered by that. 332, sit tight. You're up next. Sit tight. Charlie, got your donation. Star, did you ever watch Serpico with Al Pacino? So I saw that in the movie theaters when it came out. Who do you think you're talking to? What year did that come out when he played Frank Serpico? Thank you for your donation. That was in his 70s. Hold on a second. Serpico with Al Pacino. Was that before or after Dog Day Afternoon? I'll have to Google this in a second. Let me bring in the caller for right now. Area code 332. You there? 332.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you,
Evening. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, loud and clear. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I'm just want to talk about public education, specifically my experience in New York City. I saw where it actually was a pathway from certain neighborhoods to the American dream, but I've seen it crumble in my lifetime.
Okay.
I'm from the South Bronx, and me and my friends, we were in these things called IGC, Intelligent Grade Class, and we were the students that were getting 93 and above on the standardized test at the end of the school year. Some of us, even myself included, got opportunities to be skipped grades. Going junior high school, we took tests. I got accepted to some school on Upper West Side. Some of my other boys too. I took the the specialized high school exam,
okay.
or was offered to take. I actually missed it, but two of my boys took it. One of them went to Stuyvesant.
Okay.
The other one went to Bronx Science. So from Mitchell Lama, low income housing in Soundview area of the Bronx, I have a boy who's a doctor and another boy who's a senior vice president in banking. But these programs don't exist anymore. I'm the oldest of seven.
Okay.
I'm the only one who had instrumental music in my junior high school, and all of my brothers, even the one just 2 years younger than me, never had it. But there's just a change, and I feel like I was the cutoff. These IGC classes don't exist anymore, at least not in the schools in Soundview, and I literally saw the shift. I didn't take that specialized high school exam. I went to a public high school in the Bronx. And my first year, I went to Rutgers in New Jersey, and I saw the difference day and night. The New Jersey kids, they were just way more studious than me. I was doing engineering, trying to take calc.
If I can jump in for a second,
Physics.
if I can jump in, everything you've just said, it makes a lot of sense to me, and I commend you. Do you think that the way that they were teaching was better? Well, as you just said when you were coming up, certain programs no longer exist. Was it better because now we've got social media, and one would think because young people have mobile devices. Oh, I got the answer right here, that they're actually smarter. I think that society has become dumber, in my opinion. What do you think?
There was a lot more discipline in my
Discipline.
classrooms. I got hit. I remember getting hit with a Julius Erving biography book by my second grade teacher, Miss Hirsch.
Right.
A Jewish lady in public elementary school. So there was just more constraints on the kids in the school, and there's a lot less constraints now.
I like the word you used. I like the word you used, discipline. Discipline.
Yeah.
Learning. Go ahead.
And now let's stick to discipline. It's something that I yearn for, and I go out for my way to get now in adulthood, because I realize me not having enough of it back in hindsight is, it's maybe the reason why I'm not as far as maybe some of my other boys, again, who are senior vice presidents in banking or doctors. But discipline is needed, and there's just not any at all, and not only in school systems, but just in society in general.
Yeah. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. PayPal donation on the way.
Salute.
All right.
The question itself: do children learn the same way? You could go deeper, and you could put incarceration into the mix. We've done shows about that in terms of the lack of education or communication. Let me say communication. The lack of communication can cause irreparable damage to a community. Let me explain. If you don't know how to communicate with a lawyer or through a legal process, you can screw up your life. You get arrested, charged with something. If you have not been taught, don't talk to the police. They can't help you. They're not going to help you. You will think that they're trying to help you. Anybody know what I'm talking about? When you've been in the interrogation room and the police say, I'm trying to help you. Let me see what I can do. They're lying. They can't do nothing. Don't talk to them. Now, you may think, oh, well, if I don't talk, they're going to keep me. Well, they're going to keep you regardless. They might keep you for 72 hours, 48 hours, a week. They kept me one time, Brooklyn Detention Center. I just wouldn't talk to the police. They finally had to cut me loose. But had I have talked to them under the pretense that they were trying to tell me, well, I'm just trying to help you, I would have done 6 months, honestly. I would have done 6 months in jail. Anybody know what I'm talking about? They can't help you. That's a myth. Anytime a cop says, well, they're trying to help you. No, you can't help me. You couldn't help me on your best day. I'll see the judge, Charlie, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. 1973, Charlie Serpico. I saw that in the movie theater, man. Thank you so much. Crown, got your donation. Run, Diddy, run, girl. I don't think Diddy has to run from this chick, Natanya Rubin. I don't think she's doing anything other than kicking up dust. I'm going to say she's clout chasing. She's trying to sell a book, a documentary. She already took $1.8 million. She probably got $600,000 out of that. She ran through the money. Now she's talking about for every year that I had to cry on, or my children had to cry, I'm going to get $1 million back from you. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And what you should do is just stop talking, because she's saying, yeah, did he pew me? Well, go ahead and say he shot you. I dare you. I dare to say he shot you. Hang on a second. Let me bring in area code 646. 2 topics this evening. Are you at the speed? 646.
Yeah, what's good, Star?
How are you, sir?
What's good? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I think Shorty clout chasing too, man. I seen the video because she's saying that she's seen a video where Puff Daddy is admitting to puming her. Man, everybody's trying to get after that bag since Cassie got something.
Facts,
but as far as
no, she's saying based upon Lil Rod's lawsuit and the accusations that Lil Rod is claiming what Diddy told him, she's trying to now piggyback on that. And I'm not trying to clown her, but you already took a bag. You took 1.8. You got what you got. Go ahead.
Yeah, she want more. She want more, man. Cassie done opened everybody's eyes, man. It ain't gonna work out the same way for Cassie, for everybody else, but they trying, they're attempting to.
Right.
As far as are people learning differently nowadays? I definitely believe
children, sir, children.
But
well,
I think
let's keep it focused on children. That's my question. Children learn the same way.
Okay, yeah. We can say children. I mean, everything is different though. I go outside. I can't even remember the last time I seen kids playing manhunt or anything like that. Just like that even if we took it away from education, like
great point.
Just the social skills.
Great point. Yeah.
Everybody
is in the house. Everybody is on social media. Zombies. Who plays basketball on the goddamn courts now? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, the Androids is taking over, man. The future is scary. The future is a scary place. I know I'm not gonna be around to see it, but it's gonna be a scary place, man.
Are you a father?
Yes, I am. I got a son and a daughter.
Oh wow!
And that's when so this is what I say. I feel like the most important things that they teach in school is reading, writing, and math. Right? How to read, how to spell, and how to do math. But the thing is, the children gotta understand how to comprehend what they're reading. Also, you just can't tell them how to pronunciate the words and not how to understand paragraphs and and things of that nature. So the whole thing is about getting children to understand what they're reading and understand what they're learning and to understand what their eyes are seeing in front of them. So that's where the parents come into play at also. You know what I'm saying? Because it's our job to reflect on what they learned in school, and it's our job to teach them and guide them and correct things that we feel is wrong. But the sad thing is, some of us don't even know as parents.
If I can just put this on the table, and you're a parent, so I can only give my opinion. So many people today are just sucked into this goddamn mobile device that I would assume that the parents are on the phones in the house doing whatever, texting, Instagram, TikTok, and nobody's really communicating. I don't know what that percentage is, but the parents are social media morons now, if you ask me. Social media morons, and the kids, have to wait until mommy's finished making a goddamn TikTok video, or I have to wait until mommy's mommy's doing a podcast. She's sitting around talking about sucking and dipping it low. Mommy, I need help with the goddamn equation. Good. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I agree with you. That's why I'm over here laughing, and that's why I say, like, it's more so about comprehension. Like, who's there to help the children understand what it is that their eyes are seeing and that what it is that their ears are hearing. Who's there to help them understand that part? So it's like you could teach them, you could tell them everything, but it's still about the comprehension level, and then how they gonna apply it in life. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's sad, man. I actually feel like the lessons that they're teaching in school are actually worse. Like, my son's first experience of racism was through a book that he read in school.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And that now, as a parent revisiting that, it pissed me off. When I pick him up from school and I ask him, "Yo, what you do in school today?" And he tell me he read a book that told him how a black kid couldn't hang out with a white kid because he was black, but in real life he never experienced that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hang on a second. You said that bothered you, that he got that little dose of reality?
It's not. It wasn't his reality at that point.
Okay.
You understand? Because this is what I asked. So let me just. Cause I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No,
just
come
tell
on,
you how
come
it
on,
went
come on.
Pick him up from school. Yo, what's going on? What you doing in school today? We read. All right. What was the book about? Mind you, this is about 2 years ago, but I never forgot it. I'm like, what the book was about? He's like, it was about a black kid that couldn't hang out with a white kid because he was black. I said, let me ask you something. You got white kids in your school? He was like, yeah. I said, not light-skinned kids. Do you got white kids in your school? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you hang with them? Do you play with them? He's like, yeah. I said, were you ever not able to hang out with somebody because you was black? He's like, no. So that's my whole point. It's like, I'm not saying that it wasn't a dose of reality and that he wouldn't have not experienced racism. Only thing I'm saying is his first experience of racism and his introduction to racism is through the school.
Got you.
So he never had a real life experience of that. He probably never even had those thoughts in his head. But now that it's embedded in him through the school system. And
with all due respect, sir, I think it'll make him stronger. If what I'm saying means anything.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will, because it's a reality that nobody could escape. Racism is real.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
When I was 6 years old, my father told me, what did he say? He said, "Boy, everything the cracker says is a lie."
That's a fact.
But by the time you go back to revisit it, it's too late.
Thank you for the call, man. Thank you.
They know what they do.
Thank you, man.
They got
Thank
it.
you. Okay.
All right, easy.
Yeah. Boy, everything the cracker says is a lie. And I remember looking at him saying, damn. Hang on a second. Jennifer Jones, where are you? JenniferJonesCollection.com. I want to get you back on the line. Okay. And also Tom Yum Lachon. Dope Man, are we getting you on the line to talk about your platform? Where is Dope Man? Guys, there's a link in my community section to Dope Man's platform. He's out there in the Philippines. You know how he's moving, shaking, and popping. Sit tight on the phones, please. North Tampa, checking in, star. Thank you, man. Salute. Good to see you back after that shot I took at North Tampa. Good to see you back, man. Nat from Michigan. Nat, are you tapping in? Where is Nat? I don't see 517. Where is Nat? I do see 215. Good evening, 215. You there? Two topics on the table tonight. Area code.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
What's up, Troy? Good with you.
What's cracking, sir?
I just I heard your topic. I was just listening, but then when you started talking about the children learning, I decided to call in.
Okay.
I work in the public sector. I work in the public sector with kids.
Okay.
And it's shameful what's going on. Like on some real, like, I'm not exaggerating enough. And like these kids at my job, I ain't gonna really say what I do. But
yeah. Don't give any precise locations. Go ahead.
Yeah. I work in the public sector with kids, like school age kids, and like you could ask them, what state you live in. They don't know, man. Like ask them, like literally, they don't know what state they live in. They don't know who the president is. They don't know nothing. They don't know where New Jersey is. They don't know where New York is. They just are being housed at this point. Like it's obvious. And I'm so glad you just told the other young man about your pop. Like your dad and my dad was probably close in age. And I think I personally think that it's like they pushing not to have men like that in the world no more.
So I can't even say half the things my father used to say to me growing up in the 70s. I can't say half the things. He was a Southern man. That stereotype about black men being scared of white folk, that wasn't him. He was the exact opposite. And just when he spoke, I used to just look at him sometime and say, copy, because I'm going to school with the kids who he's talking about their families. So I had to find that medium or that place where I could, play both sides. But you were saying, go ahead.
But no, I think it's a push not to have like masculine men no more.
Right.
Like the things that these kids.
Oh, absolutely.
The thing that these kids are subject to, like you go to the library now, and they got the flag, the rainbow flag in the library, and the not just in the it's 2024. Like the rainbow people, they there now, they here now. But I feel like if you got it in the kids section, and you got the people like that's dressed like men, that's really women, and men that's born a woman, and you dress like a man, and you working in the kids section in the library, like that's on purpose. Like they want the kids to experience that. And I went to the library and I said to them about it. I said, well, why you got this in the kids section? And the black librarian was like, well, that's not really us. That's the head librarian that's doing that. And I'm like, but you sexualizing the kids with this flag. Like, kids not supposed to be making sexual choices. Like that flag represents sexual choices.
As you know, it's different now, and they are teaching, different things about sex and gender, all sorts of stuff at an early age. But I want to pull it back for a second. You and I have spoken before, And how long have you been in the
Yeah.
education system?
Man, going on 25 years, man. Like I went to college for education.
Okay, so
I taught in public school, so I definitely have recognized the difference.
Inferential reasoning, you know that term, yes? Inferential reasoning.
I remember it from being in school.
Okay, so that process of teaching is what I'm referring to with regards to Black children. There's a way that they, and you correct me if I'm wrong, there's a way that they process which is different.
Definitely. Definitely.
It's
Black
different.
children and Caucasian children learn differently. Yes.
Yes. My theory, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, with my age, having seen, lived, and experienced things and different people, I see the numbers. Oh, the Black kids are behind, and yada yada, so on and so forth. I don't believe it. I believe that the process of teaching is different, and the system, racist system, was designed in a way that doesn't allow them to excel. Am I wrong?
You 100% right. Like the people that run the school system, and I partially blame Black people because Black people should be educating their own kids. The people that educate Black children know more about Black people than Black people know about themselves. You read the studies that Black children they develop faster than Caucasian children. They even to the point that Black children lift their heads up and do different motions as infants, like weeks and months before children of other races. So you are 100% right. There is definitely a concerted effort to keep Black children dumbed down. I mean, when you look at you always see the memes on social media, like this little Nigerian kid got accepted into every Ivy League college, and this kid has scholarships. It's always like you see kids that know how to play the piano at like 5 years old. It's always a Black kid. Like it's always like a Nigerian or a Ghanaian kid or a Jamaican kid or an American Black person. Like they know that I'm not saying Black people are smarter than anybody else, but we definitely have the ability, like you said earlier, to learn at a rate that other people don't. I mean, if you just look at the creations that Black people do, somebody said,
bingo. Now, hang on a sec. Hang on. I got to jump in. Why can't we say Black children are smarter? You just said, look at the creations. I started out this show making a direct reference to the kingdom of Kush. That's where the system of trading originated from. So if we're talking, about Black, Negro, whatever, where life itself came from, why can't we say, well, Black kids are smarter? They're just not given the tools and the outline and the curriculum to allow them to excel. Why can't we say that?
I'm just simply not going to say that. This is a blanket statement to say Black people are smarter than anybody else. Because children are smarter than anybody else. I will say their capacity to learn might be a little faster and greater. I mean, if you look at the list of inventions, I don't remember who said it, but they were talking about all the inventions that, around Black History Month, when they show you all the inventions that Black people created. Most of the inventions that were ever created in the United States was by Black people. Like it's pretty much everything. Like it's everything. Like it's the third rail. It's the traffic light. It's the light bulb. It's like they'll give Thomas Edison that credit, but Lewis Latimer was the person that created the process to make the light bulb. So it's everything. Like, but other people get the credit for it, or other businesses take the credit for it, or I mean, it's obvious. And like I said, the people who are in charge know the capacity that blacks have.
If I can just put one more thing on the table, I appreciate the conversation we're having here. In 1996, according to the LA Times, Oakland School District recognizes Black English. I've spoken about this before. The move,
Ebonics.
Yes, the move to recognize the Black vernacular called Ebonics by some educators who considered it a distant language spoken by the descendants of slaves was approved. Now, me being a baby boomer, when I first heard about this, I said, "Oh my God, that's disgusting," because I was taught the King's English. It was pounded into my head. And no, that's not how you say that. You have to enunciate. Yeah. But looking back, I don't think this was such a bad thing because now we've got social media. These young people are communicating. And so what if I don't, date women who can't fucking spell? I got one foot in the grave anyway. Never mind me. Is Ebonics?
Well, I mean, Star.
Well, hang on.
All languages evolve.
Yeah. So is Ebonics an option in today's day and time? Never mind me. Is Ebonics an option?
I would just say all languages evolve. Even the language that we speak is like a derivation of German.
Right.
Like English is just German,
right.
But it's like Latin. Latin evolved into Spanish, into French, and the Portuguese. So everything evolved. I wouldn't say Ebonics was a language; it's just a dialect.
Okay.
It's like Creole or like patois. With the Jamaicans speak patois. Yeah, it's just a dialect.
Yeah. Hey man, I appreciate the call. Thank you for the knowledge and the education. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. We're having a good conversation here on a Thursday night. Thank you for staying on topic, folks. Natanya Rubin is the main topic because that's trending. She's all over social media. She's talking about Diddy shot her. If anyone has information or a source to where she said on that stand in 2001, or well, Shine was convicted in 2001. I'm not sure. Yeah. Did she say on the stand, Diddy shot me or Puff Daddy? I have information here that she says they both had guns. Chris, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay, you're on the line. Sit tight, Chris. Area code 615. I'll get to you shortly. Jay, I got your donation. Star. Natanya trying to get a Vlad interview bag. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Trevor, I got your donation. Okay, he says, Star, that stop talking game deserves a payment. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Don't ever talk to the police once they get you in the statement. Shut the hole in your face. Why do you think they're going to help you? Well, because you've been conditioned. You've been conditioned to think that the police are the figures of moral authority or the white saviors. They're not. They're just doing a job. In fact, you're a public servant. I don't want to talk to you. Thank you for your donation. Area code 629, are you there? Good evening, 629, two topics.
What's going on, Scott?
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about the last caller said that he didn't want to go out there and just say that black children are smart as I'm going to say that, and I'm actually going to say they're smarter than even the adults, because the three highest IQs right now in the world are 3 black children. They're higher than Einstein, Bill Gates, and Newton. They all 3 have higher IQs than all 3 of those guys.
Talk your talk. I'm listening. Talk your talk.
So, I mean, it's a fact. I don't know if you just pulled that out of anywhere, but black children are smarter. That's like currently right now, the 3 black children are the smartest in the world. You can look them up, actually.
I'm taking your word on that.
I pulled up Ramari, Wilfred, Anala Beavers, and Alana George.
Okay. I'm taking your word right now, but
an IQ in the world and surpassed the likes of Bill Gates, Einstein, and Isaac Newton.
Okay. I was writing something else down, but go ahead and talk your talk. So you have the floor.
That was all I was calling to tell you, that 3 black children actually have the highest IQ in the world currently.
Well, the last caller is in the educational system, so I'm sure he didn't want to say something that may jeopardize what he does. Someone may know his voice or name, so I can appreciate him not necessarily saying that. But listen, I'm trying to have a healthy discussion here, and the fact that at my age, I have seen people who were misjudged, wrongly labeled when I knew them to be highly intelligent. So I'm looking at the question itself, and I'm saying, hey, I don't necessarily believe the stats, that they're talking about the black literacy rate in America. Well, it's not designed for black kids to excel. Go ahead. Okay, he finished up. Thank you so much. He finished up. Okay. Nat, I don't see you, man. Area code 517. I looked through the queue. Okay. Chris, I don't see you. I'll check again. 615. Is it Bro Hulan? Okay. Hulan the survivor. Thank you for your support, sir. Okay, give me a second, guys. I think I've laid everything out with regards to Natanya Rubin. Again, she settled with Diddy back in 2011. By way of Daily Mail reporter. She may have settled earlier than 2011. I don't know exactly when. This story is from 2011. Anybody out there? Deeds, are you out there? Do we have the exact date of that settlement? Did it take that long? Did it go on? Or is this story just giving us an update with regards to what happened once upon a time? Area code 917, good evening. 2 topics on the table. Are you up to speed? 917.
It was good, Star.
How are you, sir? How are you?
Good. I wanted to talk about the education with children.
Okay. Do children learn the same way?
Nah, because nowadays nobody reads. We absorb information differently. And also, it's set up like that but by design. Who else is going to fill these private prisons?
Good point.
I forget who did a study years ago I was reading where there was a direct correlation between prison rates and literacy. Where if you look at the majority of prisoners or people who've been incarcerated, the majority of them are illiterate.
Mm-hmm.
So this is literally all done by design. And also it's another form of control. If you're not educated or informed,
right, how
can you properly make, choices, decisions, and adjust to changing conditions in this country? Excuse me.
Take your time.
Yeah,
I'm Googling something. Go ahead, take your time.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it's a simple strategy. How could we, people who are, we're not part of the dominant society, how can we expect them to give us the tools to reach to their level?
Right.
It's literally, it's a strategy. And we're just simply falling into it by not doing what we should do just general human beings. We should be reading as is. Mm-hmm. Who reads nowadays? You rather thumb through Instagram. You'd rather read about Diddy on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You'd rather know the roster of the Lakers, but you probably can't file your taxes.
Good point. Have you ever been to the penitentiary, sir? Penitentiary.
Not the penitentiary. I'm from the South Bronx, but I moved to Jersey. I did some time in Jamesburg as a youth.
Okay, I know Jamesburg. Now, the reason why I asked you that is because you're right. The literacy push and the narrative with regards to Black and Hispanic children, if you don't know how to communicate or have a basic understanding, you can wind up taking a plea deal, thinking that that's going to help you to avoid jail time. And
oh my God, that's another thing you just reminded. Sorry to interrupt you. That's another thing you just reminded me to tap in on.
Yeah.
We, for some reason, think that police are here to help. They are law enforcement.
Yeah.
Law enforcement. They're there to enforce the law, not to help you, not to try to, hey, you tell us what really happened, we'll give you a hand, buddy.
Yeah.
Nah, that's how I actually ended up doing time, because my co-defendant believed the arrest.
Gotta watch the language, sir. Gotta watch the language. Watch the language.
Pardon me. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. But yeah, I've literally experienced a situation where basically my co-defendant ignorantly believed that arresting officer that, hey, if you I can help you guys out if you just tell me what happened, instead of remaining silent and taking advice of lawyers, people who go to school for years to defend you. Why the hell would I take their place to do their job when I'm not educated enough to do so? No, I pay the guy to do that.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of the data here with regards to what you just said about incarceration. It's very real.
Yeah, I can't give you the numbers off the top of my hand, but I remember years ago.
I'm looking at it. You're right. It's there. I'm looking at it. Go ahead.
Reading about that. Like I said, I guarantee you. That's why another thing, I don't know if you noticed, most people, especially in the New York State penitentiary system, who've done long, extended periods of time, they start hitting the law library. They wait till it's too late.
Right.
We're reactive instead of proactive.
Right.
Where instead of waiting till you're in Coxsackie to start going to the law library, no, you could have did this while you're out on the street. Yeah. Instead, we got to keep up with the Joneses. And another thing that I say, as far as even getting back to the education topic, let's just say you do somehow make it out of, middle school, elementary school, public school, high school, you make it to college. They're not pushing like STEM, science, technology, engineering, or math. Like, people are going to college for like degrees that don't have high incomes. So it's a complete setup for failure. You go to school. I know when I was going to college, the average student loan debt was like $80K, but the average salary was $48K.
Yeah.
So like when you hear these numbers on paper, it's like it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And again, they push you to go to school for philosophy. What are you going to do with that? Or they tell you to go to school for I had a lot of friends.
Liberal arts.
Psychology.
Liberal arts.
Yeah. What are you doing with this? It's nice to be informed on certain things, but you got to earn a living, right?
Right.
Like your boy Killer Cam would say, I still got to get fresh, right?
Right.
It's literally a play set up for failure. Another thing I noticed that really had me upset during COVID, I don't know if you know, I know they were doing this in Jersey. They no longer made it a requirement for SAT testing for college entry.
Yeah, we spoke about that when that story came out. We spoke about that. Yep.
And like I said, man, to me, this is not something that's just happening by mistake. No, this is a complete design done to put those who are in power today to keep their offspring to continue their power.
Very well said. Very well said. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
No problem, Star.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace. Better sister, I got you donation. Star, you're hitting the nail on the head. Traditionally in Africa, information was shared verbally. And I'm African American, and I noticed that I learn best by listening. Rhythmic drums, different tribes. You know, one tribe might be 15 miles away. Another tribe, you know, you're sending a message through rhythms, and those rhythms can bounce off of the walls of a mountain, or, you know, you got smoke going up at certain times of the morning and or dawn to let the other tribe know there's food in this particular area, or we're coming over there tomorrow to slaughter everybody. Be ready. That's communication. Like it or not. Food, peace, self-care got you donation. FBJ cooking with gas. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put something in my oh goodness. Give me a second, guys. I'm doing a lot this evening. Hold on. Let me bring this call in. Area code 347. We have 2 topics on the table. Are you up to speed? 347.
Good night, Star.
Hey, who's this?
This is Nikki.
Hey, Nikki, good to hear from you. Where do you want to start?
I definitely would like to talk about the children because this is a matter that's personal to me because I actually have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
So she's, beginning school. She's going to be in 3K in September.
Okay.
So it's really taken my childhood because, first of all, if you look at a group of students, you can automatically tell who's smartest in a natural way.
Okay.
I think a lot of your intelligence can be genetic, and then the rest is just your environment and how your parents cultivate that intelligence that they see in you. For me, I started going to school when I was about 3 years old, and I can never forget being about 4, and my mom came to the school and told the teacher to give me more work. She just didn't feel as though I was being challenged enough. So came home, I read more books. My mother's from Jamaica, educated in London. I read more books. I got tutoring on the weekends.
Right.
The school day doesn't stop just because your child gets out of school. It
Facts.
continues at home.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of parents who, when your child comes home, that's it. So they're willing to kind of give the responsibility to the teacher to teach them everything. And they're not going to learn everything in school. Interviewing skills, knowing how to speak in front of a large crowd, things like that are things that make up your intelligence as an adult. And you don't really learn that in school. So I think that also when I went into junior high school, I went to Philippa Schuyler, which was a gifted and talented school, predominantly Black. Every single student went to a specialized high school or elite boarding school and then went on to a private university or an Ivy League school. We were mostly Black. So I don't think the system is necessarily designed to keep Black students down. I think that there's an added responsibility for Black students to have extended learning.
Okay.
Because we're not going to do everything in the classroom. And, we have a generation of parents who are into social media, heavy into hip hop.
If I can jump in for a second. Now, you said your parents are Jamaican and you're from Jamaica?
I was born here in Brooklyn.
Okay, but your parents are from Yard.
Yes.
Okay. Are your parents roughly my age?
My mother is 67.
Okay, they're older than me. Well,
yeah.
Your parents and me, baby boomers, we were the last generation that the King's English was forced upon us, and that's why I struggle with Ebonics. I don't just say that to sound funny.
As do I.
Yeah. Okay. But now, you come from a line of people that were given a British education, which is a better education than most Americans who are educated, right?
Correct, but I've had.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I just want to have a conversation. Your parents were raised in Jamaica?
Yes, my mother didn't come to New York until 1978.
Okay. Even if they didn't.
Actually,
even if they didn't make a great deal of money in Jamaica, they were educated better there. So that education versus American education is very, very different. I'm saying that the educational system here in America is racist. Racism does exist. It's a system. It most certainly is. But I'll let you jump back in there. But there's exceptions to the rule, and if you were able to excel, that's a great thing. But the masses show us that the decline in education, whether it be arithmetic, writing, math, and so on and so forth, it's not a process that Black children are benefiting from. Can finish up.
Okay. So I actually got the date when she came here in 1984, but I have uncles and aunts who came to the States relatively younger, so they were raised in the American education system. So, they still did moderately well, but I do think that there was a conversation about some of the specialized tests that these students have to go through were a little bit too advanced, and they felt like that was at the Black students' detriment. A lot of parents wanted them to get rid of certain exams to get into certain high schools, and thinking that it was racist. And I can understand that, but I also feel as though if we continue to, I don't want to use the word coddle, but I'll say it, to say, oh, these things are too hard, they're not going to get it. We have to really challenge our kids. Children need to be challenged. And it takes a little bit more investment on your part as a parent. But I think a lot of Black students are intelligent enough to learn if you challenge them. A lot of them are really smart. I went to school with a predominantly FBA. I would consider them FBA students who were very smart. They were in the same program that I was.
Okay.
So some of them are breaking the mold. I think it's a cultural thing. Sometimes it could be individual, but parents just need to invest a little bit more time outside of school hours to see that their kids would excel.
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye. We're cooking this evening. Okay. I didn't know if that showrunner topic would work, but we're getting some good calls. Do children learn the same way? Natanya Rubin. I'm sure she's going to be doing multiple interviews now, but she's going to have to watch her mouth. If she says, Diddy shot me, whoever interviews her and she says that, you'll get a cease and desist, I assure you, because she signed an agreement, $1.8 million. She may have gotten $500,000 out of that 1.8. Those lawyers, I'm sure the lawyers were hitting her not just with the percentage, but you got lawyers that will charge you $150 to send an email. You'll get the percentage of the settlement, and then they'll send you another bill for 80 racks. Well, we had 10 phone calls in 1 week. That's $9,000. We sent out 7 faxes. That's $200 a fax. Poor thing, she may have gotten $300K out of the whole ordeal. And I'm just being objective. This is not, trying to side with Diddy. Speaking of Diddy, whoo! Guys, I'm coming to the phone line. Just sit tight a second. Sit tight. Area code 559. Sit tight. Sit tight. Me and this guy have a respectful relationship. I've told you the stories before, good conversations. Diddy went to private schools like myself, and he and I were talking about this one day after he was on the show. He's an educated man. Educated man. 559. Are you there? Good evening. We're having a discussion here about two topics. Area code 559.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey.
How are you, Star?
I'm alive. Niggas are dying every day, but I'm alive. Okay. What's cracking?
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yes, I want to talk about the education of the children learning differently.
Okay.
And that I got a good experience with because my sons, they were athletes. And in school, one of my sons, he was real good as an athlete, but he was struggling with his grades. And they were trying to put him in special ed and all this different stuff. And so when I talked to this girl that worked at the school, she told me, she said, well, it was a lady that worked there. She said, the reason that, she said, they won't tell you this, but mostly Black kids, they learn differently from other culture kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, we're more visual learners. She was like, that's why they're so good at playing sports or anything that they can see. They're
bingo. Run it back. Run that back, because there's a myth that blacks are better at sports because of slave breeding. That's a myth. Go ahead.
No. Yes, it's because they visually they seeing something being done, so they can pick that up really fast. Yeah. And she was like, but they will not tell you that.
Yeah. That's part of inferential reasoning. Do you know that term, inferential reasoning?
No, I don't know that term.
In my community section, if you find time, because I'm going to take that video down after the show, because it's, I don't want to keep that up there too long. But children that visualize certain scenarios and they put things together in their head, and they have a better understanding sometimes, or most of the times, than certain problems or equations. It's in my community section. All right, you get time.
Yeah, so well, that's what I was calling about, because I do know that Black children do learn differently, just from the experience of my children. And not only did she tell me that, she told me most good athletes, a lot of them struggle with their grades. She was like, if you look at their grade, like a lot of them struggled with their grades, because it was like they're visually, they can see something being like, it'll make it look like they're gifted at it. She was like, but when it comes to the system, how they have for the children to learn, it was just different for the African American children.
Yeah. I thank you for the call. Thank you, dear.
You're very welcome.
Bye now.
Okay.
Lou Caney sends in a donation. Hang on a second. Star, this is Lou Caney. Answer me call. Well, what area code, Lou Caney? Is that really you? 980. Sit tight. You'll be my next caller. 980. Guys, thank you for your Cash App support. I think the topic is working for us. The showrunner. I was a little concerned at first. You don't have to follow my lead. If I'm wrong, just say, nah, you're wrong. Asian kids are smarter. White kids are smarter. I hate to keep going back, but those shower posse guys in the early 80s, they were smart. They were smart. I just, when I moved to New York in 81, it's okay. I see the Latin guys here, the Black kids over here, and the Jamaicans. They were smart, the Jamaicans. And I overlooked a lot of stuff that they did. It wasn't, I don't want to tell you that story again. I overlooked stuff that they did, breaking people's fingers with vice grips and shit shit like that. Yo, got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. We're bringing area code 980 real quick. 980. Good evening. Are you there? 980.
What's good, Star?
Hey, how are you?
Two-Tone out of North Carolina.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to hear from you.
Good. Yeah. I'm calling in about do kids learn differently or do children learn the same way?
Yes, sir.
I got two kids, a boy and a girl.
Okay.
And I say that they do learn differently, but a lot of it has to do with the schools. And I say that because we pulled my daughter out when she hit 3rd grade, and we pulled my son out when he hit 4th grade. And with my daughter, we pushed reading. She's a heavy reader. We explained things to her one time. She gets it. My son, on the other hand, I feel like we have to explain things to him 2-3 times for him to understand it. It takes him a long time. But I feel like a lot of it is due to the teachers that were coddling him and saying, oh, he's such a sweet boy. And they weren't really, he was able to hide. He was able to not do his work. They coddled him, and they just, sent him on his way.
Right.
And due to that, he had to get an IEP. And every time we would go to conferences, we were finding out, they're like, he's a good kid, but, he's just not learning. But a lot of it was due to the coddling. And so we pulled them out of school. My wife started homeschooling them, and we've seen a major change. And a lot of it is due to my son can't hide. He can't hide. He's forced to do his work. It's just him and my daughter and my wife at home teaching him. So he's forced to learn. He can't hide. He can't get away with being the cute kid. So that's what I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, I'm not a biological parent, but I've raised children with women, good women. I mean, I just, I'm chicken shit. I don't want to stick around and get married, but I've seen kids that were, they may not have been the best by way of, certain homework and stuff like that, but they had great cognitive reasoning. Yeah. I had a girl one time, I was dating her, and her and I just couldn't get along, and we were living together for maybe a year or so, and she was so goddamn hard on her son because he couldn't adapt to the schoolwork, and part of it, in my opinion, was she was being hard on him because of the broken relationship with his father. However, when I would go to different hardware stores to get stuff to, just do stuff around the house, this kid, he was maybe 11 years old. He just had a sense for what tools to use as I'm working on plumbing or electrical stuff. I didn't even have to ask him, hey, can you pass me the socket wrench? But when I look at him, pow, he hands it to me. Cognitive reasoning,
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. My son is, a lot similar to that. We'll go out. He'll start telling me about space and stuff about space that I didn't know, but a lot of it has to do with how my wife is training them, how she's teaching them, and giving them breaks, going to the park, and they're learning at the libraries. They're going looking at books, and they go to different places to do their schoolwork. They're just not stuck in the house. Right. So a lot of that, I think, just it comes down to the child individually, but I definitely think there's a huge difference between the way boys and girls learn. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Okay. Pardon me. Back in the building. That was a long break. I had to get some ice for my wine. I was in the middle of a text conversation, but we will continue the discussion. Do children learn the same way? And also, Natanya Rubin from the 1999 shooting in New York City, Club New York. She's claiming Diddy shot her in the face. I have not been able to find any record where she said that on the stand when she took the stand during the trial, that Shine, aka Moses Barrow, I thought his name was Jamal. Isn't it Jamal? I'll double check. He was sentenced to 10 years. Folks, did she lobby for Shine to be released? If Diddy shot her, why didn't she say, no, let Shine out? I don't recall that. I was on the radio. I started in March of 2000. You know this already. Did she take the stand and say, he shot me? I don't recall that. She just said the two of them had guns. Anyway, we're also talking about the showrunner, Do Children Learn the Same Way? Just prompted by some things that, I've been thinking about, and how people always talk about the Black literacy rate here in America. In my community section is a video that I posted with regards to, how children, some children learn by way of a different learning process. Many of you are parents. You've been calling in. Thank you for chiming in. Not that I have to be right, but I think Black kids are smarter. I was perceived as a Black kid growing up, okay? And I rejected that whole thing about, I've got to work harder and be twice as good. No, I don't. You're not smarter than me just because you're white. I've even taken advantage of that hateful claim, over the decades. Oh, if I can just go left here for a second. An associate of mine who I grew up with in the 70s in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. He was facing financial ruin. It was 1999 to be precise. I was on MTV hosting a show, and we weren't that cool growing up. But he reached out to me to see if I wanted to invest in, his restaurant that was going under. And I said, well, why would this cocksucker reach out to me? Because I'm on MTV 5 days a week. We didn't really rock like that growing up in the 70s. Long story short, no, I didn't invest to help him or his business or his wife, who was taking everything from him. But I offered to purchase, the restaurant dirt cheap by way of a fire sale. Fuck out of here. Anyway, just want to say that. Jason, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in, sir. Phone lines are open if anybody else wants to chime in on the two topics. Hey, Nikki, I got your donation. Are you calling back? Nikki, call back. Your phone wasn't working, or if that's the same person, pardon me. But you were going in a direction that I really wanted to hear. If you're the woman who has 5 kids, okay? If not, thank you just the same. King Walker, got your donation. Are you calling in, sir? King Walker. Hold on a second. New connection. Okay, someone's just threatening me via email. Okay. Folks, with all due respect, I can't read long emails during the show, And if you persist, I will send you to the spam folder. Some people go to my spam folder and they don't even know it. They think they're going to send me daily emails just being annoying and harassing, and you go to the spam folder. Just want to say that. Okay. Okay, I read this one here. R. Ramon, got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Anencia, if I said that right. Thank you for your donation, young lady. Okay. Yeah, my dad was hardcore. But those were life lessons. They were life lessons. I mean, I a lot of the stuff he used to say to me, it doesn't really, or it wouldn't work by today's standards. But I learned from him and my mother. So I'm very proud of those lessons. Anybody in that live chat ever, well, if you have ancestors or parents from the South, did your father ever tell you, boy, leave that cat in a tree? Anybody ever have a cat run up the tree? You then thinking, because you're born and raised here in America, that the right thing to do is to either call the fire department or the police. My father said, "Boy, leave that cat in the tree. Don't you call no cracker to this house." And sure enough, you go on, do things. The next day, the cat either ran its ass down that tree because something else wanted to make it food, or the cat just realized, hey, I better get down the way I got up here. Just wanted to say that. Lex Diamond's got your donation. Hey, fam, you good? Salute to my man. Okay, who is that, sir? Okay. Lex Diamonds, I appreciate the donation, but come on, stay on topic. Stay on topic. These types of shows, honestly, they work really good in the afternoons when people are at work, or, just a different audience, shall we say. But we've been doing pretty good with this particular topic. And I got your donation. Are you tapping in? Diddy will be hit with the Rainbow Rico. Okay. Well, with regards to Lil Rod, if that's what you're talking about, this particular lawsuit, and I'm not trying to defend Diddy. It's got a lot of fluff to it. It's got a lot of name dropping. One of Young Miami's cousins, whoever that is, I don't know. He's talking about some alleged shooting. Again, we live in a place where anybody can file a lawsuit. It's called a frivolous lawsuit. But now this guy, maybe he just wants a bag. Maybe he wants, $2 million, something to do with his production on Diddy's latest album. I don't know. I'm not trying to necessarily discredit him, but anybody can file a lawsuit, and I think Diddy is food at this point in time. Area code 973. Good evening. Are you there? 973.
Yes, I am.
How are you? It's cracking, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, Star?
I'm good. It's cracking.
Good. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to say salute to Old Man Terrain.
Oh, okay.
I am the son of an old Southern man, and I get it.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah. The second. Yeah, exactly. To say the least, hardcore. The second thing I would like to say is this. Harriet Tubman put it best. She freed how many, and said she could probably have freed double that. But African-American kids, black kids, however you want to put it, their mind, they've been conditioned to not believe in themselves. Right. And you have to look, if everything starts from, as you say, Africa, as we all say, Africa, where was the first system of weights and measures? Where was the first systems of this, that, and the other? While other people were walking around in caves on all fours, we had a system of math, a system of trading. The only place that
Kingdom of Kush
Caucasians beat us at, here you go. The only place that white people beat us at was in making weapons. And when I say that, I'm referring to firearms, so forth and so on. And that was it.
Well, the Chinese actually invented gunpowder, but when the Caucasian realized what he could do with it, he said, whoa, let me take that and turn that into big bombs. You guys are just celebrating shit with firecrackers. I'm going to create big bombs. Go ahead.
There you go. And that was it. So once we get our minds together, once we start believing in ourselves, because like you say, it's all a system. It's all systematic. It all goes together, whether you talk about the judicial system, whether you talk about the media, which plays a big part in things. All of that is working together to put us in the wrong direction. Once we understand that aspect, we can move forward to greatness.
Well, okay, I hear you. I'm not necessarily saying we can collectively do something. I'm an individual, but I am bold enough to outright say that black kids, in my opinion, are smarter than white kids. I'm saying that. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. As long as As long as they start believing in themselves, they can go forth and do other things. When you start talking about the learning process, as you said, you got some guys or people that just don't get it when it's written, but they could go forth and just take something apart, blindfolded, and put it back together.
Yeah.
So, it's just everybody tends to learn different. And once we figure out which way we learn, that's how we can go forward, because a lot of things we are taught are not even necessary.
I appreciate
to even be successful.
I appreciate the call, sir.
Thank you, Star. Have a good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Thank you. You're not smarter than me. I was on it like that growing up in the 70s. So what do you think you're smart for? All that passive-aggressive shit that you play. I had to learn how to harness my ego. And that's where objectivism came in and helped me smooth out those edges. And then I gradually became who I am, the ultimate man. Anyway, let's go to area code 770. Good evening. 2 topics on the table. Are you up to speed? 770.
Yes. When you look at the educational system in America today, it is not conducive for our children to learn.
Okay.
Especially when we're talking about Black children. You put them in a classroom that is teaching to a standardized test. Let's take Black boys, for example.
Okay.
You expect that child to sit in a chair for 8 to 9 hours and listen, learn, and not act out at all. You don't give them any outlets at all from a gym, because that's been cut from the budget. There's no more recess. And you expect them to sit there and learn. It goes against their biology. They have testosterone. They need to move around. They are going to act out. And then what happens is they become a quote-unquote behavioral problem. And then an IEP comes out.
Yeah.
And once that IEP comes out, if the parents don't get involved early on, that's a one-way ticket from the school to prison pipeline, because that's all that is. Because you segregate that kid off into another classroom, you stigmatize them. And if you tell a kid enough times that they're not smart, they're going to start believing it. That's the boys. Then you look at the girls. In this day and age, because we're over-sexualized, girls will dumb themselves down because they don't want to look smart in front of the boys, because the boys won't like them.
Right.
So when you break down the educational system here today, it's not conducive to kids learning. In regards to Black kids too, they are smarter because of all the stuff they have to go through just to get to school. The aptitude that they have to have is amazing, because white kids don't have to do that. They don't have the life experiences that Black kids have.
I'm listening. You have the floor. I'm listening. Take your time. Take your time.
That's it. I mean, that's really just where we're at in this day and age. So the parents have to get involved, because you have to have that outlet, because the schools will teach them, but if you're not coming in and supplementing that, you're doing a disservice to your kid. You got to take them on field trips. You got to have conversations with them. You got to listen to them. Find out how they learn. And once you do that, you can help them, because if not, you're handicapping them.
Yeah.
I saw a video of the other day. A mother got called up to the school. She beat the hell out of her child in front of one of the teachers because he was acting out. That kid is done. Will never recover from that.
Yeah.
She was a mammy playing, to the damn teacher. Ruined the kid. The kid's done. So it's like our educational system is broken. And if you have children out there and if they have an IUP, please, please, please get involved and get involved early. That's all I have to say.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. Thank you.